Hello and welcome to another Doctor Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing, obviously, another Doctor Who related video. Now, a friend of mine over on a channel called Owen Salmons, basically his channel is also called Owen Salmons, I think, from what I can remember. Oh god, I hope it's that. Anyway, yeah, nonetheless, he did a video that I quite liked. I liked quite a bit, and I thought, rather than commenting what my answer would be, I thought maybe I could do a video on my channel on how I think Doctor Who should end. As much as it, upsets me that it would ever end, but I guess I have to just accept that it would end one day. But nonetheless, how I envision it ending is the TARDIS slowly lands somewhere, and then it has this really magnificent sort of effect of, like, it dematerializing, like it's sort of like see-through, and you can only see like outlines of certain details and stuff like that, like that, like how that John Smith dude does a lot of his effects, and that, but sort of like that, and then like it fully lands and it's like, and then it's fully there. The Doctor opens the doors, and then what he sees is like all this fog, but then it's like in the fog and the mist, it's lightly sort of like orange, burnt orange, and you can only just about make out the orange though. But it's mainly like fog and mist and that on the screen. And then he says under his breath, very quietly, "We're finally here, old girl." So he says, "We're finally here, old girl," and then like slowly walks out of the TARDIS, shuts both the doors. So he shut both the doors, or whatever. Yeah. Slowly walks off into the distance. All we hear as an audience, we can't visually see him after a while, like he slowly, it looks like he gets consumed by the mist, but all we can still hear are the sort of like footsteps of him walking. Alright, and then you just hear him knock on a door, essentially, and then someone says, "Who is it?" And then it's me. I don't know who that is, but okay, I'm opening the door, and then you hear like sound effects to sort of like a door being open, like a really old sort of fashioned sort of wooden door, and the kind of like cogs kind of working in them, putting the key in, and then they open it, and then they're like, "Oh my god, you're home." "I'm finally home, mother." And then like the fog mists like goes away and settles, and then we see for like maybe a minute to 2 minutes maybe at most, a row of houses, like the estates, a row of like terraced houses, and then we see whomever the Doctor is, but only the back of them, and only a very far away distant shot of this woman, and then the Doctor's hugging her, and it's his mum, basically. And then it slowly pans up, and then it has like the citadel and the like dome in the background of like from series 3, sort of dome. And then it says in very sort of like fancy typography in white writing, in like fancy typography, like sort of style thing, "The End." And then it slowly kind of plays a dun 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 dun, sort of music, and then it just cuts to black, and then that's it, basically. Like the end is that the Doctor finally goes home and sees his mum, or like his journey's finished. He says maybe something like, "It's me. Where have you been?" She asks, and he says, "Just on a journey, but that journey's finished now." you know, that's what he'd say actually, like in that last bit when he's hugging his mum, but we don't see who it is, so it doesn't really matter who they get to cast from the mum because she'd be so far away that it should be blurred out, but we just see the back of the Doctor as well. Like, we don't know who said Doctor could be, you know, but I'd like to think that's how they'd end Doctor Who. Very fitting, you know, that all the adventure, you know, long ass adventure that he'd done and we'd viewed for so many years is sort of like one massive chapter in his life, and now like the second massive chapter in his life is just being on Gallifrey, settling down, maybe having a life, starting a family, maybe actually settling down, you know. That's what I'd like anyway. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Comment below how you think Doctor Who should end whenever it does. I don't want it to end anytime soon, but that's how I envision it ending, you know, with the Doctor going home and to his mother and on the estates in Gallifrey, on Gallifrey even, and it, you know, and it kind of has to say in the end in that sort of fancy sort of calligraphy, sort of typography, because just to symbolise, you know, the sort of, they're on Gallifrey, that's how they maybe write, you know, in fancy lettering and that, and yeah, and then just to have that sort of underlay of the sort of Doctor Who theme song and that, like a massive mashup of all the sort of themes over the years, playing it slowly and kind of subtly in the background, and that just to kind of set off this new direction, you know, that although it's ended, he's sort of still on his own journey. It just so happens that we're not there to see it anymore. So yeah, that's how I envision Doctor Who ending. As I say, I'd like to see you guys and girls comment below. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate and subscribe.